Hello, hello. We're doing Caddis and ants today. Caddis and ants. Not my favorite, but it's necessary. We're just building the box um, for the summer. I've got some family members that need flies, and the caddis and ants are always popular item. So we have. I want to kind of preview what we did last time. We tied this articulated streamer. There's a shank, so it's just a two piece, but man, this one turned out well. The color's nice, the profile's nice, the head is nice. It needs a slightly larger hook. I'm glad I didn't do two hooks on it. I don't, if they don't get the one hook, then the second hook always like ends up in the body, or I just don't like it. But this one turned out really well, so we're gonna have to do this one again. I think this is gonna be a player. And then the other one I want to do again is this little guy. So this little guy has two hooks on it, two smaller hooks, and with the mallard flank, and I think it's ice dub, but it also turned out well. And so I'm going to tie a few more of these in the future, and then a few more of these as well. So good patterns. And then I need something dark. I think I got the silveries and whites all situated, but we're going to need to tie some dark ones, some black streamers, things like that, blacks and browns, things like that. But today, caddis and ants. Let's get started. The standby caddis I do is the just the CDC caddis. It's not very exciting. Two material. The super fine, and then a few CDC feathers. So yeah, we'll do a couple of. I can whip those out pretty quick, so we'll do a couple of those, and then we'll graduate to something a little bit. Oh no, we gotta do some ants. So we'll do some ants too. The one thing I don't fish a lot of is elk hair caddis. I know it's a great fly. I don't. Maybe it's tying them, palmering that body. I did tie something I called it an animal style caddis, and maybe we can do that one today too. But it's just an elk hair caddis, and I just messed up the palmered body. So maybe we'll do some animal style caddis as well. I'm gonna tie these pretty big. I'm thinking 12s and 10s. Here's some 12s. These will be a good place to start. 12s and 10s. And then just as many, like 10. I'll probably need a lot. Not that I lose them, but other people like to take them, and I like to give them. So I'm going to use a little olive thread today, just because get a little color variation on the head. The super fine, I go in between the like a gray, brown gray, and then an olive. Here's our CDC. Here's the olive. Sometimes I mix the olive and the black. That one looks good. So yeah, we'll do that to start. We got the super fine No, this is just regular rabbit dubbing. That's okay. We'll do this olive superfine with just a touch of rabbit. Just a touch. Just do it. That's more than a touch. And then we'll blend that together. We'll do our dub and rope, loose to begin, and loose to begin. And then we'll tighten it down, spinning one way, which is clockwise. And that looks good. Let's wrap our dub in. Wrap it. It almost has like this camouflage look with the black mixed in with the olive. Looks quite good. We have more dubbing than we need, so I'm going to take that out. Finish wrapping. Good. Let's get our feathers. 2 feathers for the wing. They don't have to be super long ones. That's a good one. That's a good one. Sit each feather once, slightly longer than the body. 1, 2. So one is lying flat, and then come back with the second. Situate it. Sweep those fibers back and then tie it in. That's good. 1, 2 in front. We'll give it a little hackle. We can trim this out, leaving just a touch for the head. Let's find an old spare for our hackle body. We can do our hackle a little bit darker. So this is a slate gray. Let's clip and trim. And trim it out. That's good. Split the thread, insert the material. Running the bodkin under the thread to thin it out. And then, oh, there's something on the bodkin point. And then finding separation, split the thread, open it up, material clip in, drop the thread over the material, remove the clip, spin it up, spin up the CDC. Let's preen back a little bit. Then let's wrap slow. You don't want the wing to wrap the wing so it's lying completely flat. So we'll just do 1, preen 2, preen 3, and then we have a little bit left. So let's go in front once and twice. That's good. Yeah. Here we go. Let's let the thread unravel on its own. I don't want to, even though that the legs are long, I don't want to trim them out too much. Just, yeah, keep them long. Adds to the bugginess. The body is a little bit darker. Hackle is a little bit darker. That's a good combo. You could do the natural color for the hackle as well. That's also a good combo. But this is a winner. for caddis fly. Thread is unwinding, and then we'll whip finish. 1, 2, and up. 1, 2, and up. Cinch down that whip finish and trim it out. There it is, that little CDC hackle, or CDC caddis rather. Really nice pattern. This is in a size 12. The body is blended, super fine dubbing, and then rabbit. The wing, 2 CDC feathers. The hackle is a slate gray CDC spun up. So we'll just repeat this one because we need a couple of those. And we'll insert the old hook. We'll get the thread going here. Here's our dubbing. We'll take a pinch of the olive, and then we'll just take a wee pinch of the black. So yeah, synthetic and natural, I'm kind of mixing them. And then I'm just teasing them out, not ripping, just teasing, layering it on top of one another. That's a good mix. Dubbing rope, a little bit of material, lightly on the thread. We're finding our length. And a little bit more, that should be enough. Not too worried about a taper. We'll tighten it up, spinning one direction, not back and forth, just one direction, spinning. And dubbing rope is tight. Wrap the body. Wrap. Again, too much dubbing. Let's take it off. Tighten that back down. Select 2 feathers. Don't have to be super long. Ooh, that's a little ugly one. This is a good one. This is a good one. And then we need one more like that. Ooh, here's another good one. 2 good ones. And we will place one lying flat, catching the base fiber. So when I tie it in, they're pointing back toward the bend. 1, 2 loose wraps. I made that a little bit long, so I'm going to draw it in. There we go. Let's place the second on top. Measure it out. Pinch them back. 1, 2, check the length, a little bit long. Draw it in. There we go. 1, 2. Leave a little bit of the stem. Clip it out. Let's get our slate gray. Where'd it go? We had a feather we were using for the legs, but I think we lost it. Let's search for another one. We have our bucket of discards, which include half-used CDC feathers. We'll just find one for the legs. It could be I'm not really worried about the color, actually. This is an olive. Olive with, let's do the olive. Let's do the olive. But I think this is better. Yeah, this one is better. So this is just a half the bottom part of a CDC feather. We'll use that for the legs. Normally I press it in foam, but I'm just going to preen it with my fingers, trap it with the clip. We want we want that part, so we need another clip. Take another clip, transfer, and then remove, and now I'm going to trim off the stem. Yeah, there we go. Let's split our thread, running the bodkin under, and then slowly moving toward the point, finding separation. There it is. Opening up the thread. It's pretty thin thread, so it could rip. Taking the clip, inserting it into the loop, trapping the thread around the material off my fat fingers, and remove the clip. Spin up the thread, drawing the index and thumb up the thread will spin it, help it spin. One more up, and then we'll preen. I've got this distance between the thread and the material is a problem because you're doing 5-6 unnecessary wraps. So avoid that if possible. And preen, wrap, preen. Let's go in front once, twice, 3 times. And we'll let the thread unwind. Check our legs. Not too much trim in, but just knock that one off. Legs spread out wide, I don't mind so much. It's just like the unnaturally long. If it's longer than the wing, I kind of trim it out. But other than that, leave it. Buggier the better. Thread is unraveling and slowing down. We'll stop it. Away finish. To catch, tighten. 1, 2, 3. Catch, tighten. I'm going to cinch that down even more. And we'll cut it out. So this is our CDC Caddis, size 12, just phenomenal pattern. I like it better than the elk hair, but we'll do the elk hair now. So hook, we'll do this one bigger size. So those are 12s. Let's do this one bigger. Okay, here we go. Here's 10 dry fly. We haven't gone to the stimulator hooks yet. We're still on the little dry fly hooks. And we'll do this one animal style. Animal style with the CDC wing. We'll do one hair wing, one CDC wing. The dubbing under, I'm not going to blend. We'll just go straight olive or straight natural. I'm thinking really quickly. And tie that in. The color of we're going to use a hackle. We're going to use a hackle. This one's nice, uh, but if you look closely, the feathers, so it looks brown from here, but if you kind of open it up, it's all white, which is odd. So I don't, I need something a little bit darker. A little bit darker. We'll use that later. Here's a few more, but that's all white. This one's, I think, too dark. Oh no. Yeah, we'll go, this will be kind of a darker. No, I have the perfect feather. Never settle. I think that's going to settle. Okay, so we'll do the darker feather with a little bit darker hair. We'll make that adjustment. This is a saddle hackle. The fibers aren't great. The grade is not good, so it's difficult to tie a dry fly with this. The barbs are too long. Wet flies are good, kind of spidery flies are good, but the hackles, it's a good feather. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of mess it up a little bit, kind of mess up those hackles, working it with my finger, not working it too much, just working it a little bit, rolling them around a little bit. I think you'll know why. So I'm really just messing this up and trying to get those tips crinkly. Can you see? All right, crinkle up this feather. Maybe even knocking a side off of it would be best. There's a lot of material here. I think so much material that I'm not even going to dub the body and just do the feather over thread. All right, that's good. I'm going to trim the tip, tie-in point. Let's try to get that a little bit more messy. All right, tie it in, wrap. Let's wrap our messy feather, not super tight. I should have spent more time messing it up. And one more wrap. That's good. This one will be the hair one, and then we'll do the CDC one. No, I don't know why you would do a CDC fly like that. We'll skip that, actually. We'll just do hair. Okay, so the body's nice and full. The hackle's wrapped. It's palmered, but it's not sitting, so it's the full length of the feather. It's kind of swept back, nice body. A couple of them are poking out, could be legs, but it'll sit really well under a wing. Let's clip a wing. We'll do more than we need for the wing. I'll trim out the hair from the wing. Get some of those shorts and under fur out. We're going to save this because I have a dream of tying a fly with this stuff, so we're going to save it. got a little container of that. Save that. We'll do one last brush with the dirty toothbrush. Then we'll tube it. Where's my tube? Where's my tube? Where's my tube? Guess we won't tube it. What the heck? Kind of need that tube. We'll do it the analog way. I'm gonna draw out the tops of the elk. I can't find my stacker. And then I'm gonna place it. I'm gonna draw the next bunch, place it. I'm holding it very loosely with the right thumb and index, and I'm just drawing out the tops of it, of the longs, and then I'm setting them back down. Since we can't find our stacker, I'll repeat this. I don't want to draw up the shorts. I just want to remove the longs. I'm grabbing 2 hairs at a time. That's not bad. It's not great. The stacker is 1,000 times more proficient. Can't believe I don't have it. Maybe I dropped it. Did I drop it? We can make a new one. That's gonna be hilarious. So I took the just a marker pen cap. It's not very deep, so I'm gonna trim the butts of this hair. I'm gonna drop it into the marker cap. And then I'm gonna use just the palm of my hand and gently shake it. Shake, shake, shake. What? Shake, 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 shake. Shake, shake. My tube is much better. Shake, shake, shake. And remove. That's somewhat stacked. Let's place it in. Spin. So the thread is completely unraveled. I want to tighten it up just a bit. So I'm going to give it a little twist so it spins up just a bit, not too much. And then I'm going to pinch hard. 1 wrap. Tension, tension, tension. 2 wraps, tension, tension. Oh, snap my thread, too much tension. But that's what you want. You want that tension. Let's get that thread back. Let's get that thread going again. Okay. So our body is just a feather. We did feather over thread. We messed up the hackle. We couldn't find a hair stacker. And now we're adding our hair wing. Measure it out, go back. Okay, 1 wrap, tension, 2 wraps, tension, 3 advance with tension, tension, and no spin. Let's find the hook eye and wrap. Now we got to decide how to do this head. Let's clean it up first. How to do this head. I'm thinking we don't do that. Oh man, this is not going well for me here. I'm removing that hair clump. And I'm gonna get it back. I have to think about this head a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm going to tie it in closer to the hook eye. And I'm just going to keep that the butts of the hair for the head. I'm not going to add any hackle or anything. Just keep the butts. And finished. That is our head. I got some strays on the side. Knock those out. Okay. Let's shape the head. Kind of flat top it. Knock off the sides. Yeah, that's good. Nah, this was not my best work. I think I broke the thread 3 times. Didn't stack the hair very well. A bit of a sloppy job. I'll finish. Move on to the next. Move on to the next one. Okay, so we tied 3 caddises, 1 with a hair wing and a palmered hackle for the body, but we messed up the hackle and we messed up the wing. We purposely messed up the hackle, and then we inadvertently messed up the wing, but I think it'll still go. Then we tied some CDC Caddis. They turned out much better because they're easier to tie. And now we're gonna do some ants. I don't know how big of an ant you want. Oh, the foam. Yeah, foam. Foam. We'll do some foam ants. Let's get some hooks. And we'll do Do it on a pupa hook. Foment on a pupa hook. We need a darker thread. Go with this dark brown. All right. Let's start our thread. I had an idea for this actually. So foam and CDC is something I don't do because I just think it's counter. But I think I want to do it here. Black foam, 2 mil, thin strip. There's a pattern called the bubble caddis, and they use like a foam folded over. But I was thinking like folding one way, so folding under, folding over, like the infinity symbol, and then having the tie in the middle. I don't know if that's gonna look good or not, but the foam needs to be thinner, so I'm gonna work it with my fingers. Work it with my fingers. And then I'm going to run it with a lighter. And then I'm going to work it more with my fingers. And what I'm trying to do is soften the edges. That's what I'm trying to do, just softening up those edges. We're going to hit it with the lighter all over. Roll it around in my fingers. And start. So do I leave some for the butt and then bring it back? Or do I start here and then bring the butt back? I think that's what I do. So I start tying here all the way to the eye. And then bring it in. Now, fold the head. This is the bubble caddis inspiration I had. Tie, tie, tie. A little bit of space between the head and the abdomen. So notch it out just a bit with your thread. And then I'm gonna come back here. So it's got kind of an extended body look. And then fold it back over. And space it again so we have the gap. And get that gap. Head gap, abdomen gap. It works, but there's this bubble end. I'm gonna cheat. There's a little gap between the bubble and there's two gaps. There's a gap, like a circular gap here, and then there's a gap between where the abdomen's kind of sticking up, and so I'm gonna super glue it down. I'm gonna super glue both gaps. We'll start with the middle, the bubble gap. So a little bit of glue on my toothpick into the gap, close it up. Gap is closed. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of glue under and then close it up. Yeah, now that's sitting right. Okay, let's trim that out. Give it a tug and then cut at an angle. That's good. So wings and legs, wings and legs, wings and legs. And a press, kind of flopping on me. Is that a problem? I don't know if that's a problem. I think I have to glue the foam when I'm tying it in. I have to put a little bit of glue. It's kind of spinning right now. I'm not too worried about it, but a little bit of, yeah, let's see if we have a tip, a little CDC tip. So we'll do a little wing tip and then maybe hack a leg. Yeah, this is perfect. This is just the tip of and kind of gray. We'll tie that in on top. Draw it back just a touch. Sticking up too much, but that's okay. Trim it out. And then get a little hackle. A little hackle. Here's a black hackle. And tie it in. And wrap it. 3 wraps, 4 wraps. No, that's too, 4 is too much. 3 wraps, trap it, trim it, and anchor it down. Whip finish. I mean, not the prettiest looking fly. I think we can do better. I think we can do better than this. Okay. There is our ant. It's got a head, it's got an abdomen, it's got a wing, it's got legs, but not super happy with the result. Just put that to the side there. Let's try again. A good ant. What makes a good ant? What makes a good ant? I think roundness firmness, plumpness. Do ants float well? Maybe they don't. Okay. I got an idea. Ooh, someone just called me. This will be it for today after this. All right. So, a humpy brings hair over the top. I'm going to bring it 360 over, tie it in, bring it 360 over again. This is not going to be easy, but I think it's going to be cool. Let's take out the shorts. And the fur. I don't care about the tips necessarily, but I want enough to tie in, and then I want to use the natural taper of the hair. So I'm going to trim off the tips. I'm going to utilize that natural taper. Holy mackerel, I could just do it in one go. Ooh, we're going to try the impossible. So I'm going to tie it in at one point. Oh my God. Loose wrap. I should have used a stronger thread for this. I'm going to spin it. Help it out a bit. And I'll pull that hair through. I don't think I left enough for the butt. This isn't going to be anatomically correct. However, I think this is just see if this concept works. Okay, that's good. Spun. I want clear separation, and then let's do the head first because that'll be easier. I'm going to work the thread up. Oh man, it would actually be significantly easier if I just work the thread up, work the thread back, rather than trying to. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Advance the thread, and then we'll work the material. Oh, I should have. Well, no, I'm going to have to retie anyway. Work the hair up, tie it off. That's her head. Let's find the hook eye and then we'll tie it off. Okay, now the back. The back. this through. It almost needs like an extended body or like a longer stimulator style hook. But I can restart the thread. Without trapping too much of that hair. I'm already botching this. You know what? I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna use a toothpick. I'm gonna trim off the top of this toothpick. Where's my needle nose? I broke it. I'm gonna measure how long I want it. About there. I'm gonna dip it in super glue. I'm gonna stick it in the butt. Oh, no, maybe I shouldn't use a toothpick. Maybe I should use a piece of foam. Yeah, I should not use a toothpick. I'll use a piece of foam. I'm gonna run a lighter over the foam. And I'm gonna roll it out. Because then I can cut this super easy. I'm gonna dip my foam in super glue. I'm gonna stick my foam where the hair is. I think you can see what I'm gonna do here. And I'm gonna work the hair over the foam. Gently, gently. Easy, easy. I'm gonna remove the foam. Take it out of the vise. Get some more of that hair going. It's too thick. Okay. Now, get my thread. So the hair's worked over the foam. Get my thread and then tighten it down. Tighten it down. And we'll chop that end off. Let's whip it. Whip it by hand. This is turning into a disaster. some kind of terrestrial. I don't know what kind of terrestrial this is, but some kind of terrestrial. A beetle? Maybe this is a beetle. Okay. Let's cut it. Let's try to angle this. 1, 2. I'd rather not have all that foam exposed. You try to cut that shorter. Stub it up. All right. Yep, this is a beetle. This is definitely a beetle. Because we'll bring the collar back over. We'll tie it down. It'll have a head. It'll have an abdomen. Not much else. Oh, this was a disaster. Restart. Bring back the hairs. Try to wrap it as clean as we can. Okay. Beetles have legs. Do beetles have legs? Yeah, beetles have. I'm thinking on fly. Of course, beetles have legs, but beetle flies. Okay. Oh, what am I doing? Why am I whip finishing this? I'm losing it. Let's trim this out. And then we will, I guess, rubber leg it. Can't think of anything better. Rubber leg it. Rubber leg it. It's brown because just because. One piece. Catch it on the side. And, well, what? Those legs are sticking out way too far. What? a disaster. That's good. Keep it like that. Okay. There is our beetle. Should have been an ant. That's what we got. Oh, not good, not good. Yeah, we definitely were struggling today. We tied a hair caddis. We tied some CDC caddis, and we tied an ugly ant, real ugly ant, and this wacky beetle. I think I gotta stop. I appreciate you all for watching. Someone says, dude, you are slow. Try doing short videos. Yeah. That's good advice. All right. See you later.